день, дорогие телезрители! В эфире программа «Права и обязанности», ведущая программы Светлана Павленко. Сегодня в нашей программе со Slavic студии вы познакомитесь с такими людьми, которые посетили нас с мэрии города Бивертоне. Это Дэниел Васкес и Луис Нава. Наша программа сегодня будет проходить на английском языке, так что, пожалуйста, перестраивайтесь. Thank you so much for both of you, Daniel and Luis, that you came over. And you're going to share with us your experience. You're going to share with us, with our community, what do you do in the city of Beaverton and how everything is done.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come here and talk to folks from the Russian-speaking community to conduct some outreach with them. Thank you.
So what do you do in the city of Beaverton?
So I am the Cultural Inclusion Coordinator for the city of Beaverton. Out of the mayor's office. I am tasked with conducting outreach to all the ethnic minorities in the community in Beaverton to get them more engaged and to participate more with the city of Beaverton. Currently, the city of Beaverton, of the 91,500 people, over 33% of all the community members are non-white ethnic minority community members. And so we're a truly very diverse city in Beaverton. There is a population of folks in Beaverton that are Russian speakers, perhaps not as significant as some of the other ethnic minorities, but nevertheless they are part of the community that we would like to see more involved in the different activities and events that we have with the city. For example, one of the things that is very near and dear, so to speak, to the mayor is that our mayor, Denny Doyle, who has been is now on his second term, going into his fifth year. One of the things that he's been very passionate about has been the diversity of the community of Beaverton. Since 4 years ago, in taking office, he convened a task force. This is a task force of about 25 to 35 ethnic community leaders within the community of Beaverton that come together once a month to voice their concerns and work together on projects and issues that are affecting their respective ethnic communities. As it is right now, we gather the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at City Hall. And so it's a good way for people to get to know each other within the ethnic minority communities and also to work together on the different projects that we're working on. Right now, a couple of things that are really important and we're working on very strongly is the Beaverton International Celebration, which will be coming up here in July, the last Saturday of July of this year. Will be the third annual celebration that Beaverton has. Last year alone, we had over 6,000 people come to the event. It's a nice opportunity for all the community members from different ethnic minorities to come together to showcase and share their music, their traditions, their dance, their art, their poetry, their food, and also builds a really good sense of community that people can come and learn about each other. The other thing is we are also in partnership with Portland State University, the Center for Public Service. We are conducting a project, a 6-month project that we are doing together, which will culminate in a set of 2 events. One will be a listening forum, if you may. It'll be an opportunity for us to outreach to the ethnic minority communities to be able to gather input on what are their concerns, what are their needs, and how the city can best serve them. And then also, following that event, they will have a educational component so that people can be educated and they can learn more about the things that are concerning them and the things that are their needs in the community. It's going to be a big event that we're going to have. This is going to happen in May, actually May the 9th and May 11th. And so, again, just wanted to kind of really, make an outreach to the Russian-speaking community in Beaverton and surrounding Beaverton area to get in touch with the Cultural Inclusion Program at the City of Beaverton and really become part of what we're doing, of the great work that we're doing to build a more diversely inclusive community in the City of Beaverton. Here today with me is Luis Nava. Luis Nava is one of our leaders in the Diversity Task Force, one of the several ethnic minority community leaders within the city of Beaverton that works very closely along with me with other community-based organizations and other ethnic minority leaders to do this work of cultural inclusion. Luis, maybe you could say a little bit of talk a little bit about the work that we're doing.
La idea is the idea is based on that we live in that city and we are part of the city, but also we want to take active part in the decision making in the city. Things like Daniel mentioned that, for example, when the city are planning to build a new area for entertainment or developing new parks or something like that, we want to participate in those projects, express our needs, our concerns, our desires, okay? But also, I'm very involved in different organizations around the state, but in metro area, in Clackamas and Munomacani too, here very close to you guys, IPA, is East Portland Action Plan. I'm very involved with them too, trying to get my community, the Latino community, more engaged, more involved in the different activities that the city provide, but also give some inputs to get better things for the community. So we, as a part of the community, I believe is our responsibility to have a better services and living in a better city.
That's why we invite you today, and we really appreciated you here because we want to learn how you have done already. We just want to follow this step and compare if our community can also be involved. And we want to know how we can be involved, what we need to be involved, or say why we should be involved. There's differences as far as between our cultures. And sometimes certain things we agree, certain things we not, and they become barriers. But still, if we understand more what we need to be involved with, how to be active with city, can you give us a little bit more examples? Say, for example, how our community make a change where we live.
So, for example, in the city of Beaverton, for the folks that reside in the city and surrounding areas, a good way to start would be to start attending the diversity task force meetings. Like I said, the first Monday of every month at 6 p.m. at the Beaverton City Hall, the diversity task force meets to get input from diverse ethnic community leaders on what are the concerns that are in the community. This will give people an introduction to not only the ethnic leaders in the community that are working on the same issues, but also give them an opportunity to learn more about the different opportunities in how they can get involved. And there's many, you know. One of the two things that are big in the city of Beaverton is the neighborhood association committees. So in the city of Beaverton, for example, there is 11 neighborhood association committees where residents of those neighborhoods come together to organize events, organize activities, and also to care about the general welfare and safety and security of that neighborhood. That is one of the programs. The other one, for example, is the different boards and commissions that exist within the city for people can join in a voluntary role, ranging from the Sister Cities Advisory Board, the Diversity Task Force, the Senior Citizen Committee, the Mayor's Youth Advisory Board for the youth, for the young children who are still in high school. They can get involved. And there's many more. And so because there is honestly, I think, so many opportunities for people to volunteer, I suggest they start with just one, and that is the Diversity Task Force, just so they can get an introduction of all of the other options and all of the other opportunities that are available, and that's how they can start. That way they won't be overwhelmed by so many opportunities as well, and that way they'll get a good foundation for how they can get involved, and also learn how to get
that
involved.
will give them idea what is out there,
Mm-hmm.
what is a meaning of the be involved in community, right? Because they will learn what kind of committees and what each committee does.
Exactly.
Exactly. For example, I'm going to give you another example of another committee is the arts and culture. Okay, those committees, for example, if in your committee there is some artists, dancers, singers, they can be part of those committees and they can start promoting events in the weekends, you know, in the park or in a theater or in a public center, whatever. They can start promoting small events for your community, but later when you got more experience, maybe you can start doing like a festival and invite the other communities, and we can start sharing our values, our customs, our dance, share with you, and the same thing we are learning from your community. So in that way, we are going to start getting more close, being friends, and if we live together, we are going to have a better city. That's the
because
purpose.
we need to learn our backgrounds and our culture, and once we understand, we can communicate better. Because we already work with a lot of different people from different communities, and we learn little by little. We like the food, we like
sports.
Yes.
Sports. Your country is very good in soccer and basketball, volleyball. Same the Latinos. There is a community that is related with park and recreations. There are facilities that we can use as a citizens and promote events. So we can have probably later, you know, a match between the Latinos and the Russians and see who is better in soccer and whatever.
I like that idea.
You know?
To be them together, because we have so much in common in our culture.
Correct.
A lot of values we have pretty much the same.
The important thing is to start developing and establishing those relationships so that we can further develop them and really build a sense of community among not just the ethnic minority communities in the area, but also to become more inclusive of all the ethnic minority communities in the greater community of the city of Beaverton. Currently, as it is right now, you know, the city of Beaverton is only 7 miles away from Portland. It's interesting because that's both far and near in the same time, and I understand that, you know, there's a lot of folks, especially Russian-speaking folks in the Beaverton area that find their way to East Portland and Southeast Portland just because there's a greater community in this area. But I guess I'm coming here today with an offer, if you may, opportunity, if you may, to reach out to the Russian-speaking community and let them know that the Cultural Inclusion Program of the City of Beaverton is here as a resource to you, is here to help you, and we would love to see you get involved, and we would love to help you get involved.
So I like the word you mentioned, the resource, because it's important how much you can find through resources. It's so many things out there, and sometimes we struggle and don't know. Somewhere in your neighborhood, there's somebody can help you.
Exactly.
So near, but you don't know because you never attend any of the meetings, you've never been involved in community. How you will know? Because not everybody will share, because if it's not profits them, they might not even mention.
Right. Correct. And the important thing is to get informed, and you can start to get informed by starting to get involved. You can start to get involved by starting to get informed. And so, like I said, you know, the beginning is to come to the meetings, get to know people, get to know about the programs, get to know about the activities, and the people who are interested in the different activities and different events will start to get more involved in those, and will create a greater sense of community. And that's how it starts.
About now? What do you have right now from our Russian community? Do you have representatives, or there's any activities going on at all? We
have some. I've had a chance to meet with a few of the Russian-speaking leaders in the Beaverton area. I think that there are still a significant amount that I have not been able to touch base with yet, and so I would like to make that plea. Also, we have been in touch with there is a Russian community in Beaverton, a more senior community that gathers on a monthly basis, and so that's a starting point for us. But, you know, I guess to answer the question directly, not much, not as much as we'd like to have. So again, you know, kind of opportunity today that I come with, a request, an outreach effort to reach the folks that are not currently involved and invite them to get involved.
I really like that idea of introduction today, because my message and my main idea to invite you also just to learn what is out there, what we can do, because we don't want to be a passive. We don't want to just sit around and observe. We just want to learn where to start, where to be involved. Because if we don't know something like that exists, how we should go.
Exactly.
And we have to find the ways now how we can start that communication. Who will be the people that you communicating through, and how to outreach, because our community, as you mentioned, it's divides not just by area where we live, but also a little bit in language. Even though we all Russian speaking, there is some people have barriers with English. Still a majority of people. So that comes also a barrier. How to deal in that case? What do you say?
You know, one of the things I brought to share today, and maybe this is something we can share on the camera later, one of the things that the Diversity Task Force was able to compose is the Beaverton City Service and Resource Guide, which we have translated into 8 languages, one of those languages being Russian. That is a good starting point. It's about a 15, 16-page document, starting point for people who may not be that proficient in English, who would appreciate reading something in their native language, to start to give them an overview of all the resources and services that are offered by the city of Beaverton. And as far as with, if you may, daily tasks, so to speak, at the City Hall, there are interpreters that are available at City Hall. There are staff members that are native Russian speakers, some, and also people approaching City Hall will not be turned away, so to speak, because there is no language support for them. So that is also a resource for them.
Yeah, that's good, resources. How about you, Luis?
Yes, and well, I want to tell you, as an immigrant, oldest person, like many in your community, in the beginning I was scared, this is a new world, the language barrier. Right now I'm still learning the language, but I break that barrier, and I say, I need to be proactive. I need to do something for myself, for my family, but also for my community, because I choose to came to this country to live here, and I want to have a better place, And that's when I hook up and I say, well, if I want to be this proactive, I need to get involved. But when I started, I didn't know how to do it. And I started looking for people who already getting involved in the community, being attached to them, learning from them. Now I'm in the position to teach another one how to do it. It's very simple. We don't need to go to college to promote a meeting or a tournament or a party, That's simple things. So that will be my advice, And right now, I believe in your community, we got elderlies, and we didn't pay too much attention to that ethnic group. So that's one of my objectives right now, trying to prepare programs for them to gather, to get together, to enjoy their friendship and their customs, and be more happy living here in the city. So I believe I don't know how is the percentage in your ethnic group about the elderly.
Yeah, there is a big percentage, I guess. I cannot really say right now. I don't know.
And probably they don't speak English.
Of course not.
Of course
not.
We can.
But they still want to communicate. They still want to have fun. They still want to share, to learn more. They show what they can do.
Exactly.
We're human. We like to.
2 weeks ago, when we met the Russian group in Beaverton, I have no idea. I don't know any single word in Russian, but I enjoyed that meeting. they were people next to us, translator, you know, what's happening.
Right.
So we understood what's going on. But then we start eating together, then we end dancing, you know. And
Ended up with dancing.
and I didn't know you dance, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm old, but no, you know.
And everybody was
in
nice to
wheelchair.
teach us, and there was a very nice sense of community and relationship building there. And so this dynamic, this environment that was created there, you know, we would like to, you know, continue to see more of it. And I know the Russian-speaking folk are out there. I know they're busy, but you know, make a little time. You know, come first Monday of every month. First Monday of every month, 6 p.m., City Hall, 3rd floor in Beaverton, and you will be happy that you came, and you will know and you will learn how to get more involved and how to participate and how to build a better sense of community and how to become a more diversely inclusive community in the city of Beaverton.
And I'm sure there's many ethnicity groups is out
Of
there
course,
in the
of
meetings.
course.
Yes.
How are you guys involved with the schools? For example, what grades, like it's middle school or high school, are you involved in school at all?
We focus mainly around the ethnic minority leaders in the community. Some of those ethnic minority community leaders are also teachers or are also parents of students who are in the schools. And so we do have folks that are involved from the schools. Also, the diversity task force members, some of them, especially like I said, the older folks who have children, are able to convey that message to their children to get the younger generations, the students, if you may, involved as well.
My question will be, maybe many other people who watch this say, why do we need outreach? Why do we need to be involved in other culture, in other traditions, and why do we need that kind of communication?
I believe if, okay, we choose to come to this country. This is a different country for your group and for my ethnic group. And we are learning how the American lives, you know. But then, when we are in the community, when I didn't know anything about you, so I want to be your friend. I want to learn how do you talk, how is your family values, your food, you know. And in the same way, I want to teach, I want to show you what my community have in order to later on be like a friends, you know, and grow this in this community better. So, for example, I'm going to give you a little very short sample about the schools. My daughter, she's been taking for almost 3 years dancing classes. She's right now at the 6th grade, okay? For the last 2 years, she has been doing in her school, during the afternoon, she's going to teach dancing to her friends, you know? We are not charging anything, but we are establishing a new friendship between the parents that are going back to school with the kids, okay? So then we are getting involved in the school, in the PTA.
You think they will improve a trust between people, generally speaking, business-wise?
Oh, for sure. Starting in the school, now we are very close to the principal. We know more the teacher. We are when they call us for the parent-teacher conference, when we see each other in the hallways, we say hi. You know, we didn't cross as a strangers. Now we know them. We can talk more freely with the teacher.
Because the countries where we're from, that was very important. We knew everybody in our city. Maybe not by name, but by face for sure.
Correct.
Because we live there generation after generation. And it's very hard here when you don't know your neighbor. It's very hard when you don't know who lives in your block, in your neighborhood. Outreaching will help to break that, because it's possible here in America too. It's only depends now what you're doing about it. Are you trying to outreach to your neighbor or not?
Exactly.
Correct.
Because we can say in America, people don't want to know each other, they stay away, I don't know my neighbors. It's just because maybe you are locking yourself, maybe you are separating.
Correct.
So that's the point. I think I understood correctly. So those outreaches, they outreach that helps to break those barriers and get involved, because we want to have fun besides our work, daily problems, daily tasks, and we do want to go park. We do want to play soccer and show off some good food and build relationships, right?
And to add to what he said, about why people need to get involved, it's very simple. You live in this community, you work in this community, you go to school in this community, build this community. This is your community. This is your neighborhood. What you put into it is what you will get. The relationships that you establish and develop are the relationships that will continue to develop and establish with you. And by you inputting yourself into the community will output itself back to you. And so it's almost as a responsibility, I feel. And also, I think it's yes, I guess a responsibility that people should get involved, because this will be to your benefit and to your neighborhood and to your community. And whatever is a benefit to your neighborhood and community will be a benefit to you.
That's wonderful.
When you came to this country or to this city, somebody put you in the city where you live, or you choose to live in that city?
Most of us follow whoever came first and says, we already been here, we know.
But then you can choose, I want to move to that other city. Why? Because that city has better roads, better parks, or better services, or schools,
Better neighborhoods.
Exactly. But what about if you move to that city and you start working and helping in that city with the neighborhood to improve better that city? So who is going to be benefit? You, your community, your kids, your family, your friends.
It'll be much safer everywhere you look, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So how is those festivals or those outreach meetings are going? For example, I really like that idea when you describe like festivals possible and possible games between, like, say, Russian team and Spanish.
That will be very interesting.
Team,
Yes.
playing soccer.
Correct. Next year is the World Cup. What about if we do a small, workout tournament here between the Russian, the Peruvians, Ecuadorians, Americans, whatever,
That's right.
To make
and
fun,
the kids can be involved and play.
Right.
And it's good for everybody, because vendors
building.
could be there as
Of course,
well. They will
course.
benefit. They
Of
meet.
course.
It's good for many areas. I see it's good for business owners as well.
Fundraising for community-based organizations as well. So if there are some folks from the Russian-speaking community who would like to be food vendors, for example, it will benefit their community by being able to fundraise. The event that I was talking about in particular, the Beaverton International Celebration, is held yearly in Beaverton at the parks. They're at the 158th and Walker Road.
It's the Tualatin Valley Park and Recreation Center in that area.
Recreation District Center. This will be the third year that it's been done. Last year, there was over 6,000 people in attendance. It'll run from about 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. But this is in July. This is the last Saturday in July. And so now is the planning process for the celebration. So now is the time for people who are interested in both performing and also vending food at the event to join in the planning process now, so that they can be involved and so that they can participate. So if folks want to be involved with that, have them again show up to the Diversity Task Force meetings, first Monday of every month, 6 p.m. at City Hall. And people can start to get plugged in to what that's going to look like, how the planning for that is going to happen, and how they can start to bring their community members that are performers and that are vendors to this event.
It's excellent.
Also, you can get information at the website of the city. Okay.
BeavertonOregon.gov.
There is some pictures from the last 2 years' events, so you can have more or less an idea of what's going on. But also I want to mention something about the vendors. Vendors is a business, there is something that we are trying to do also at the Beaverton city, is to start promoting more the entrepreneurs, you know, try to for the people who already have businesses, try to be a mentor to another ones, you know, to teach them how to start the business, how to grow the business. Because if we start having business, we are gonna start getting better in our families and also in our cities. So that's another project, that's another program that we have in the city.
Yeah, I like that idea very much, and I'm looking forward to continue that communication and that outreach, and I would like to be in that meeting for sure, because I'm already in the process of filling out the application.
Good.
And the application for different reasons. It's for be a volunteer with that outreach. So I'm in that process, but either way, I would like to come and learn more, and we'll check your website. Really, thank you so much for being here today. We learned so much. It's start. You already have idea about our community, at least briefly, because you already have some friends that you mentioned. You had some good food and
Right.
Oh,
yes.
wow, delicious.
Yeah, so that's a very good start. I think many wars stop after they share the meals. Don't you think so?
Yes, yes.
Before that, they couldn't really understand each other, but
Right.
meal brings people together.
Of
And
course.
because there's nothing you can say to man who is hungry.
Yes.
But once you feed them, everything can change, right?
Everything can change.
Yeah,
when
but-
it's music and food,
Music and food, it's
everybody goes.
And I
in.
know that Mexican people are very happy people. They love music, they love singing, so you can't separate it from your culture. When
Yes.
I imagine in myself somebody who speaks Spanish, you know, like Mexican, I always imagine music in background,
Yes.
happy face. So we want to have, we want to be involved also and become closer, for sure. Yeah, thank you so much again. And again, we had today a special interview with Daniel and Luis from city of Beaverton. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.